Hello everyone, welcome to this project walkthrough. In this video, I will explain how we solved a real world problem using React Flow to visualize user order and the product they have ordered. Including situation, multiple users share the same project at a time. Let me first explain the problem statement. We needed to create a visual representation of user, their order, and the product they have ordered. If two or more users have ordered the same product, they should all point to the same product node in a flow diagram rather than duplicating product node for each other. Like here, Shubham have placed two order. One is for toy car and the second is for mobile. And the same Abhijit has ordered one order for the mobile and the second is for laptop. So mobile is the common order placed by Abhijit and Shubham. So these all edges are point to the same node, same product node that is mobile. We solved this problem using React Flow Node.js and MongoDB for the backend to manage data. Take a walkthrough for the backend. Go to my VS Code. So I have two projects. One is for frontend with that, and the second is React backend. So our backend code is stored in this folder. Now first, just take a walkthrough for the model. And these are the four models which I have created: filter data, index, order, and product. User model store the actual information of particular user. Whenever a user registered with us, it will store and use this schema to create a model in our database. We have a product schema. The product schema is basically store the product information like product name and product price, you can say. And similarly, in model, we store the name of particular user which have placed the order, user ID. It is associated with the particular user document so that I can track which user information with this ID. And we have a product ID. Product ID is associated with the product table, product collection, so that all the information about the product comes from the product collection. And the last is order date. Order date is basically to store the order date on this date a user placed order. On the last model, we have filter data. Filter data is basically whenever we implement filter on the front end side. So all the information we have to save in our database. So whenever we save our filter data, it will use the same filter data schema in which they store user information and the order information. So these all are the model collection. And now I will go in my route folder. Here I have created four routes. One is slash data. It will help to get data on the front end side. And second is save. It is used to save filter data. Whatever I have filtered on the front end side, it will help me to save this data. This is a post request. One other post request, the add slash add is I did not use in project. I just used to insert data internally. And the last one is order slash username. To fetch the particular user detail or a particular filter data, like I want to know how much orders that has placed. So I just initiate this route to get my information. Let's go to our controller and try to find out what the code I have written. So this is our first function. It is basically used to get all the data in our database. To fetch all the data in our controller, we use join because we have multiple tables. So here I just find all the users first. So here I have put a join. Basically, it's a right join in MongoDB. Left join and right join is not possible. So we will do aggregation and use aggregation pipeline and this whole thing. So here I just find all the users inside the order ID and populated it with the product ID. So this data will be associated with order data and product data and user data as well. And I will return this data on my front end side. Here, this get user order. This is a function for the particular user. So first, I catch username in the params which I have sent from my backend, and here I just find if this user exists in our user table or not. So if the user is not registered with us, we just simply user not found. And if user is available in our database and we are able to find this user, we create, find the order placed by this particular user. So for this, I'll put operation on the order details, and on the order details, I'll find user ID with the particular user ID. As we said with the particular user, I will populate it with the product ID, like which order placed by which users have placed this order. So I also return this with my data, and in this data, all the user detail and the product detail will return. Then I have created a safe filter data whenever we put filter on the front end side and run into the and then I have created a save filter function. It is basically used to save filter data in our database. So I have accept this data to save from my body, and I'll just destructure this object and save into my new filter data. So this data is into my filter data mode table as well. And add data function is just I'm using to my internally use so that I can insert all the data, not from the Postman. I just want to create some data from here, and I just put insert many queries so that this all data insert in my database. So this all in my controller function. I already explained you route. Now I will explain the server.js file. So here I'm just creating a node server, and in this server we use body parser codes .env just for to save our details in a env file, and course is used to. And here I'm just creating a server using Express. I'll just import some things to .env file just to save my code and the MongoDB string. And here is a database connection in which I'm passing MongoDB string as a parameter, and it will return me a established connection. Here I just imported data route. Inside data route, my all the post requests, get requests are running there. And here my app is listening on the same code which I have already given in my .env file. So this all is my backend system. Let me just summarize this backend. Whenever a user registered with us, it just saved to the user table with the name and the email. Whenever the user tried to book some order, try to place order for the particular product, so these all details will be stored in a order table, and inside the order table there will be a user detail and the product detail as well. In the filter data, we have already like if you want to filter some data like how much order placed by Subham, it will store to the particular filter data. And inside the product table, all the product that we have registered with us, or someone add new product, it will store in the product table. So these complete working of our backend system. Now move to the front end and App.js. So this is a basic React application. In this, I have only one file in which I create a complete flow, complete APIs, and the node ages, everything in this file. So let's go to this file. And here I just import some use node state, use age state, node set node, all node change. This is all the complete I import from the React flow. I'm just creating a loading to the purpose whenever my data is taking some time. So it will just a fallback UI I will show there. This is a filter data. All the filter data I will store in, and whenever I hit, this object, I will send this to my backend and I'll restructure in my backend and saving to my database. So here is a hosted route which on which I have a host in my backend, and with the help of use effect, like I want whenever I come on this website, my use effect, my style effect will run, and this will get all the data and show on the screen. So I have put a get data function in the use effect, and here I'm just hitting an API slash API slash data with the host. This is my host, and after I will put slash API slash data to host me, and it will give me some response data. It is basically response data from the Axios, and dot data is my function, whatever I have written from my backend. I have created some empty nodes just for tracking purpose, and just some ages and a product node as well. Here I'm doing, I just putting a map on my result to create node for the particular user, and whatever the order placed by this user to create node for that per product as well. So here I just put a node. This node is for the user, which user have placed the order, and whatever data I get from the my backend, and I create a node for the user. User, we can say user is the parent entity. Whatever all the things are connected to the parent entity, but the user is a parent. So I have created a node for parent. To create a node, I just use node.post and passing an object like ID, user index, and data for the user name and the position on which position it will show. We can this position will vary according to the design, and what we can do whatever we want. And inside the result, we have two type of object. One is user and the second is order. So from the user object, I just put user detail, and now we have a object as order inside the user. So we will iterate each and every order placed by the parent component, parent entity. So whatever the parent entity placed the order, it will show inside the orders detail. So I will iterate it with order and with the product ID. I just put this product ID, particular product ID in a variable just for make it easy to use everywhere. And now in the next line, I'll check if this node is already added. If the node is already exists, I will not create this node, and I will simply move to the edges, and I will connect the particular edge from this node. If any case my particular node is not created already, I will create a node for that for the product ID, and I will mark it. This product node already has been created. For the next iteration, whenever I will come here, I just get, oh, this node is already created. So I will not create it again, and I just put a new edges. So here I'm just creating an edge for the user so that which user have placed which type of orders and which orders, so that edge is connected between them. After the all iteration, all the need node which we have created after this iteration will set into the set node, and all the edges whatever the after the iteration we get, we will store in this set edges. And this both variable we will pass in our React flow to create the flow diagram on our screen. So this node and edges will help to create a node and the edges between all the diagrams and all the nodes. I have also passed the on node change function. This is basically used to whenever I want to try this node to like drag some other on other place, so it will have to on change function. If I did not pass this function, I'm not able to drag my particular node from everywhere. Same for the edges. If I do not pass this function in our React flow, so I will not able to drag my edges or connecting my edges to the according to me. You can say. And here is a node type. which is not required at the time, but whenever we want to create a different type of node, so we can just create a particular node and a custom node. We will use it later, and it is a fit view for the design purposes. Not, and I have put a background color and the controls for the zoom in, zoom out. Here I'm rendering it as a fallback UI. So whenever the data will take some time, if the data will take some time to get, then I will return a fallback UI. This data is loading like this. And I have created the four buttons here. One is for all order. All order will actually show all the data in our database whenever we are getting all data. I have created a filter, default filter button for the Subham, and one is for Abhijit. So whenever I pass this string Subham as a parameter, so it will fetch order for the Subham, and if I order for pass Abhijit, so it will give me data for Abhijit. And I have a button for save filter data. It is basically used where whatever the data we have filtered, it just have to hit the save API and the filter data will save in our database. So let's go to the fetch order, and here is a function for fetch order. I have just put a set loading through. So whenever I click on Swap, it will take some time to loading, and whenever data will take, set loading will off. Now in the try below, I'm getting a response from my host on which host I have a request, and I'm also passing a username as a parameter. So I will call this function create flow element. It is basically create the particular node and edges for the filtered data. So let's suppose I hit this API for Subham. So it will give me data at for the order with whatever order Subham has placed here and the user for the Subham detail receipt. Now these both variable user detail and the order detail I will pass in my function. This data I set into the set filter data. So whenever I hit save API, I will just pass this object to my data for my database. And if I'm find if I'll find if I'll find any error in this, so it will return that below, and finally it will set false set load. Now let's move to the create flow element. So create flow element is accepting a user detail and the order details. For the user detail, it will create a parent entity. Parent entity, as we are assuming here is a parent entity is user. So I just create a user put as a parent as entity because for one parent there is only one node, so we don't need to create a node array or the age node array basically. And there are multiple ages can be possible, so I'm just creating here create an ages array, and I will store all the ages inside this array. Now I iterate on the orders, and for a particular order, I'm just storing the particular ID in my variable so that I can use it further. And for particular order, there is a particular product. For this product, I will create a node, and position will be matter. You can put whatever you want, and you can also use random function just for the random purpose. We can. I'm just storing it like this. There is a ages, so whatever the order placed by Subham, so it will connect it to the all user are there. And then again, I will set node and the ages, whatever the ages are written from this function, and save filter data function. And this filter data, I'm just hitting API for the save, and inside the save function, I'm just passing this object filter data. Filter data I already set here. So all the details of filter data inside this filter data, and I will hit it. So whatever the response I will get, I will just show my user detail saved in MongoDB and all. And if I find any error, I will it simply return the catch below. So these all are the front end working. Let me just summarize this front end. First, I'm getting all the data from my database by hitting get data API and whatever the API I have written. And whenever we get all data, we will create a node for the particular user. And inside this user, we will create all the nodes associated with the particular user. Then whatever the product placed by the particular user, we will create node for them. And all the edges will connect it to between user and the product. Then we will create API, create a system for the fetch user for the filter data. So whenever I hit API with the Subham, so it will generate all the node and all the edges associated with the Subham. And we have created API for the same data. So whatever I get the data after applying filter. So if I apply filter for Subham, I will get complete data for the Subham with the edges and nodes. So then when I hit save filter data, so Subham data will be saved in my data. So this is the complete working of my project. So here I can show you just like Abhijit had placed to order a product and the laptop. So it will point out to the both product. And Subham also placed order for mobile. So it one edges are connected to the mobile and one is for product. If any case Abhijit will buy place order for car. So one edges will connect it to the car as well. So these are all the complete message. Let me just click on Subham orders. It will show me all the orders placed by Subham. So we can see it like this. So Subham placed order for mobile and Subham placed order for a car. If I click on Avijit, so it will show me like Avijit had placed order for laptop and mobile. And now I want to save data for Abhijit. If I click on save data, I save successfully to the MongoDB. Now, when I check my MongoDB in my filter data, I just get this object. When I open the user, it will say the user placed by Abhijit, filter data of Abhijit, and the order placed by Abhijit are two, and there's a product ID. So if I want to know which product is this, so I'll just copy this and go to my product ID, and here I'll just check my ID. So whatever the ID I have copied, I just paste here as a query to the MongoDB, and ID or the object ID will. So if I find this, I'll just get okay. I will have order for the mobile, so I can find it. And here's all the orders placed by Abhijit and Subham. Here's all the product, whatever the product we have. I'll just reset this query, so I'll get all the orders here. And there's a user, we have only two users registered with our database, so there's only two users. So these all are the working of our project, whatever we have created, backend and front end. We can also create a other type of project as well. It's just a demo to how to use React Flow with Node.js and for backend, and how can we fetch details and draw a particular diagram for the details. So I have created this one. If you want to learn more about React Flow, you can directly check out React Flow website. Although I will paste link in my description as well. So this is all for today. I hope you understand all the things which I have explained. Thank you so much and subscribe my channel for the next video. Bye bye. Take care.